There was a point in time where Eric Esch used to have to diet to make 400 pounds on fight night during his very early career. He'd eat nothing but chicken and butterbeans. In doing so, his legendary nickname was born. Nothing about the career of Butterbean makes sense. This giant man was called the king of the 4-round fight. He even KO'd a referee by accident and still managed to win the bout. And if his shots landed, it didn't matter how good your chin was. In his first 70 fights, he had 65 wins, 2 losses, and 3 draws. And his highlight reel is the stuff of legend. Remember, if you want to help support the channel, be sure to use your hype feature. A 4-fight win streak brought Eric Esch face-to-face with George Clark in his 24th fight as a pro. Adam Sutton was a 7-fight veteran who had one simple mission in this fight: survive. But would he make it out of the opening exchanges unscathed?
Esch is out of Alabama. Down goes Butterbean. A rather shocking development to the fans here in attendance. Let's go back to the first round action now. Let's see if it was in fact a knockdown. There's the jab and a bit of a push, but nonetheless it is a punch, and down goes Butterbean. He went. Good right hand by Butterbean. Good left hand by Butterbean. Sutton in trouble along the ropes. Throwing everything he's got. He comes in with an uppercut every now and then, which is probably a pretty good weapon with those arms up at each side. Sutton's going to have to answer back with something here. He's got to throw some punches back, or Toby Gibson could step in and stop the fight. Butterbean unloading his... Seems to have worn himself out with that huge flurry, but there's a right hand. That grazed the face of Sutton. 4-4 in the heavyweight ranks. Butterbean with a big right hand. Butterbean in the Stars and Stripes was down in the first round. Record come to a halt tonight. Adam Sutton having things his own way in this third round, using a jab and lateral movement. But Butterbean, right hand by Butterbean followed by a left. That got Sutton into some trouble. Butterbean trying to pour it on. In the ropes. Butterbean still throwing punches. Now he opens up again as the round and the fight comes to an end.
In the end, Sutton was one of the few to escape in one piece, dropping the judge's decision, but avoiding the KO. Pat Jackson had only ever fought 2 times as a pro, and they were tasking him with fighting this human mountain. Turns out, this fight would be a lot more memorable than people expected.
So here we are in the second round, and there's some blood visible as they're calling Butterbean between rounds. The announcers got things rolling nicely with a solid crowd that's really getting into this matchup. Butterbean connects with a clean right hand that might have actually stunned Jackson.
Is the stamina of Jackson, which is non-existent. He's a target. Terry Wood better be very...
Look, not a lot of power behind it though. He's just reaching out with it. Wait a minute. Nice body shots from Butterbean there. Smart move on his part. Those are solid punches to the midsection. Now he's working his way upstairs. This kid's on the rise.
Interesting thing, Dave, is he hasn't really hurt Jackson that much with his punches. It's just that Jackson is tired.
Well, now he's throwing the tough man type punches. They told him, get inside, just get the hands moving. Should have been scheduled for 3.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll be right back with more action from Canada, Louisiana after this break.
Unfortunately, he walks into the best punch of the fight. At the end of the round, he's separating the fighters. And referees cannot protect themselves at all times the way fighters do it. We've seen referees get hit in the past. That might be one of the most dramatic shots he walked into. Boy, that's combat pay, right?
In the end, not only did Butterbean knock out the referee, but he also got the win, marking a truly bizarre chapter in his career. Next up for Butterbean was the supremely athletic-looking Louis Monaco, although all the muscles in the world wouldn't help him against the sledgehammer who stood in front of him.
I'm pretty sure we can safely say that Butterbean's gonna charge forward and try to make something happen, but that's about it.
He raced out quickly, didn't he?
And I don't think we'll be seeing the boxer types matched against him. So there's the right hand. Butterbean may end up having some longer tough man fights than this one here.
Monaco's trying to work on the inside with some solid combinations. He catches Butterbean with a nice uppercut right there. Monaco's got himself in great shape. You can see he's built like a bodybuilder, which is completely different from Butterbean. He lands a decent right hand. The crowd's getting excited about this one. Monaco might not be the most technical boxer, as you can tell by the way he leads with his right hand, but sometimes that gets the Absolutely. I'm sure that's exactly what they're working towards.
But you do see what happens when he gets a clear shot. It's home run derby.
Feel it. Roberts thinks the key to beating Butterbean is staying busy with the jab, while keeping his feet moving. In the tough man competitions, he finished second twice, but the fans loved him so much it was like he actually won. Roberts is putting together a solid first round right here. This is scheduled for 4. Like we mentioned, he had a clear advantage outlanding Butterbean by 8 shots. I scored that round 10-9 for Robert. Butterbean knocked Roberts off balance there, and that's a good one. Roberts still ahead though. This fight wraps up with Butterbean throwing that overhand right, and he connected with several really solid ones. That one caught him right on the ear where it messes with your balance. Very basic attacking style, but it's effective when it works. Here comes round 3. 16 power punches in that round. There's that forearm shot you mentioned. That's definitely gonna leave a mark. This is the moment when Roberts was in serious danger, and eventually he was done.
Super heavyweight title defense came next for Butterbean, and another appearance on a De La Hoya undercard.
Down goes the fighter with a crushing right hand from Butterbean. 5, 6, 7. He's on one knee, manages to beat the 10 count. Let's see if Butterbean can finish him off. Another big right hand connects. That's all she wrote. This one should be over. The referee jumps in quickly to wave it off along with everyone else in Tulsa. Butterbean's actually a really nice guy to spend time with. Believe it or not, it was actually a jab that dropped him. The jab of all things. Can you believe a simple jab, or maybe it was more like a hook? Kind of a combination jab hook from Butterbean that sends his opponent down. Patrick Graham gets knocked through the ropes, and from every angle you watch it, it looks just as brutal for Patrick Graham. Butterbean's definitely hittable with jabs or pretty much anything else, but hold on, this is getting interesting already. Peter Fugili isn't really boxing here, he's just trying to tie up Butterbean.
Hey, Eric.
There was always a market for this kind of fight, and Butterbean was becoming an unlikely star. You might know Peter McNeely for his role in welcoming Mike Tyson back to the ring after his stint in prison. Well, his clash with Butterbean came 4 years later, and as a 49-fight veteran, McNeely had the potential to make this real interesting.
That shot from Butterbean doesn't seem to faze McNeely at all. They want McNeely to throw something first in this exchange. A couple of left hooks connect and McNeely staggers backward. Another left hook lands for Butterbean. McNeely's basically just standing right there, absorbing punishment from Butterbean. This fight probably won't last much longer. The referee stops the action. There were only seconds remaining in the first round. Butterbean takes the victory. Peter McNeely just couldn't get anything going. That's how the opening round ended. Early on, McNeely had some success with his jab and connected with a few decent left hooks. Then Butterbean started throwing those wide punches from way out there. McNeely had no answer for it. Butterbean looked pretty confident about controlling this fight. After letting his corner know he had everything under control, he went out there and made it happen. McNeely barely mounted any kind of offensive attack. This is where Butterbean put the finishing touches on it. The referee stepped in to stop it. McNeely really wasn't protecting himself anymore. Hard to argue with that stoppage. Butterbean keeps throwing those wild sweeping punches, and just about every single one is finding its target. The strategy might work if his opponent can keep Butterbean pinned against the ropes while landing those shots, but now Butterbean's creating some problems with that looping right hand. A quick left uppercut lands cleanly. This is a dangerous position to be in because those short compact punches from Butterbean can really hurt you. Now he's got his opponent trapped in there, but the guy's still trying to fight back.
Butterbean very clearly had an extra gear to move up to, and he proved it on this night conclusively. Another title defense was next, against a guy in Tim Burgoon, who was not expected to be a real threat, but appearances can be deceiving, and only time would tell how this fight would actually play out.
Butterbean in the trunks with the American flag and the colors of Mexico. So there it is. Here's the exchange we're looking for. Butterbean beginning to open up, and again, waving that right hand, and he throws a wild right hand. Butterbean again begins to open up, and I think that hurt Burgoon. Burgoon is knocked out. He goes to a knee. I think that's the end of the fight. I think it was a big right hand that froze Burgoon, and that was it. Burgoon spits out his mouthpiece. He still doesn't know where he is. Shot, and I think it may have been that one that was the end of Burgoon, and right there you see Burgoon covering up. There's a left hook, right hand, left hook again, another right hand, and that would be the end of the night for the Butterbean and Burgoon. We take a look at another angle here. Here it is, a jab followed by a looping overhand right, followed by a left hook, and a digging right hook to the body. And from there, that would signal the end of Burgoon. And Burgoon at that point right there, I think that right hand signaled the end, and some big power shots. Wow, Burgoon.
The result remained the same, a second round KO, and yet another statement from this 320-pound monster. The first fight in a 4-fight series with Kenny Craven was up next, and once again, Butterbean put his super heavyweight title on the line.
To mix it up with the beam.
I'm surprised he's standing right there with him. I mean, he's not moving. He's just trying to stay within punching range and exchange punches using his own quickness. But this could be disaster.
Not the worst game plan for this round, even though it's hard to make out exactly what's happening. Look, if you stick and move against Butterbean, you're going to land your punches, but fighters usually try that approach for a couple rounds, and then eventually things catch up with them. Oh, it didn't take long for Butterbean to make his mark. That's exactly what he does best. This guy's finished.
Butterbean would eventually go an even 2-2 with Craven, and we never got to see fight number 5. George Limburger was one of the most credentialed opponents Butterbean fought, but Eric Esch was ready to make one of the biggest statements of his career.
On his feet, he's out. I have that one punch. Is all it took, one punch.
Butterbean still going after.
Still wants to beat him
because he told him he was going to take care of business.
This wasn't even a contest. Too much power, too much force, a 19-second demolition job. But what do you make of this iconic fan favorite? And who are your favorite combat sports oddities in history? Be sure to let us know in the comments section below.